exhibition were born, and we have seen you as soldiers, desperate runaways, growing up men, women, lovers, gods, haters, and at the end, travelers through our substitute. Who are Pain of Salvation now?
Who are Pain of Salvation now?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever known. I mean, it's. I guess it's since it's my brainchild and I've been like having this as my main forum of expression since I was a kid. I guess it's me and whoever else is in the band. But yeah, I think from a lyrical and musical point of view, I'm still very close to the Road Salt albums. I mean, that's where I've been the last years.
That was the point, because we have read on your Twitter account that for the upcoming album you have special surprises for your fans, and we wanted to know something about this coming album.
No,
if we can know something.
I think what I wrote was that I'll probably surprise myself as much as the fans in the process, because that's usually what happens. It's not that I know what it's going to be, but I want to stay on the intimacy anyway.
So now that you're changing your musical style, your creative process is changing, or is still the same since the beginning of your career?
I think it's always changed. I think sometimes I've even forced myself into different methods of creating just to have a different output. I mean, to know that whatever I'm making now is going to be different because I create new premises. Like you'll have the first albums where we recorded demos, we went into the studio and we re-recorded the songs. You have Remedy Lane, which is written really, really fast. It's like just a few weeks from writing the songs to having the finished album. I guess opposed to what most fans would think, I guess it's maybe the most hastily made album of all the Pain of Salvation albums. The one I spent most time on is probably Road Salt, which is probably the fans would think the opposite.
I thought it was B actually, the one you spent more time
on. Oh yeah, but in a way, but that was just because again the whole premise of the album was so different. Just that album was written like totally on music sheets. So I had to write down every instrument, including the drums and everything, on music sheets. So of course that took time. And then once we started making the shows, the shows took time. And then making the album after that. I mean the period of production for the album was very long, but not especially due to the writing process, but because it was such a long linear process.
Okay, so let's go to this tour. We've seen that Ragnar is not following you.
Yeah.
Can we ask you something about this decision?
We already from the start we didn't know how it would work for the future, because he's got his own band and most of all he's moved to Norway.
Okay, so it's difficult to...
Yeah, because of family reasons he moved to Norway, and that makes it really difficult to work it out, basically. So he couldn't join us for this tour. So Roger was also one of the finalists, or what do you want to call it? We had a few candidates.
The list.
Yeah.
The blacklist of candidates.
Yeah. So it was a very quick and easy decision to just call Roger out, because I felt I wanted to work with him anyway. He's like a tremendous guitar player. So
do you need any Italian guitar players? Because now we can do
That's usually the problem. Every time, when we've needed new instrumentalists in the band, we get tons and tons of applications from everywhere in the world.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, but so we want, of course, to have people from Sweden. That would be very logistically practical. Also for accent point of view, so everyone would have this sort of Swedish accent that we do. So we fit together well in the
Cool. And we saw some picture from your Easter egg and we saw that the scenic design is very particular and well finished. But who had the idea actually? And by what?
I just remember me and the sound/lighting engineer Barney. We were sitting discussing at one point during a tour that it would be so cool to have like a living room setting, and then just like the entire stage is just a living room.
To come back to the intimacy you were talking about before.
Yeah, well, I think that for us it was just like, I guess when you're on tour, you get tired of black stages and black drum risers. Everything is the same, so it would be nice to do something different. And I remember when like we have a big rehearsing room for the entire band, and then just across the hall I have a small rehearsing room for me, like where I mix and sometimes I write songs there. But I wanted to have like a 70s interior sort of, ish. And so I think that was close at hand too, to sort of like, this would be cool to do this on stage.
Yeah. We find it really cool.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's like a totally different setting. You get into a totally different mood, and the audience, I think, hopefully
it's just like
also
being with friends.
Yeah, you have a very relaxed vibe. And but when we talked about this, it was I think for one of the Road Salt tours. And it never happened for lots of different reasons. Probably mainly because it was just like a stupid idea to start with. But with time, you can take those stupid ideas and actually make them happen. So when we did the Leipzig show, we started talking about making an acoustic album. And well, if we make an acoustic album, we should maybe do an acoustic tour. And if we do an acoustic tour, we should do the living room thing. So that's it. And it seems so nice and like, wow, it's the best idea ever when you're just planning it. And then you're in production rehearsals and you're like, oh, we need a couch. Are we gonna bring a couch on tour? We can't fit it into the trailer, but we need a couch. We can't have a living room without a couch. But IKEA is not 70s.
That's right.
It's like with shirts, you can buy a retro vintage 70s t-shirt these days, but the fit will be terrible compared to a real 70s t-shirt, because they just make them totally different these days. They'll just be like wider and shorter and just ugly. So there is a difference for sure. So we were scanning all the local like charity stores, like where they take all the free stuff and then they sell it and give the money to charity. And that's where you can find old stuff if you're lucky. The 70s were sort of cool and hip for a while, so it's difficult to find 60s and 70s stuff. There's tons and tons of late 80s and early 90s.
Okay, and may I ask you, what's your favorite Pain of Salvation album now for you, or?
Road Salt 1.
Okay, and there is a reason about this or?
Just lots of my favorite songs are on there, I guess. It's, yeah. We were listening to the earlier albums on the bus, going like, well, we should add something, maybe we've played the same set now for a few days, maybe we should add something. So we started listening to the old material. I just feel like unmotivated when I hear it. I like the songs, but just like the whole vibe and everything. I don't know. It's really a different era for me.
Yeah,
I feel like I've moved on from that to something different. Maybe in 20 years' time I'm gonna be back there. Who knows? But I doubt it.
I imagine you 60 years old, doing the old vibes.
You have to leave stuff behind. I think it's impossible not to.
Yeah. And do you have a band or album that you like now, or that you are listening now?
Right now, I know there's some. That doesn't say much, but I've been listening a lot to a 90s album by a Swedish band called Luke, which means like locomotive or something like that in Swedish. I think that's an amazing album. But anything that would be more international, let's see. I've had my Beatles period, I've had my ABBA time. There's something. I'm listening, actually the most stuff I've been listening to the last 3 years And I don't know if I dare say this, but it's been mostly bluegrass and country actually. Dark, sad country. I think they call it cold country actually. That's been but I think I'm like that. I get tired of whatever is around me, and I seek refuge somewhere else, some that's totally different. So if we're doing this or that, then I will sort of seek my way into something else for balance. So who knows? If now that we're doing the acoustic stuff, and which is like much more country based, I might start to have to listen to black metal or death metal or something. But again, I highly doubt it.
And why did you decide to make your tour with Anneke and Arsene?
I've always loved Anneke's voice ever since The Gathering, which I heard like in 97, 98, something like that, with Nighttime Birds, the Nighttime Birds album. And with Arstide, it was actually Ragnar suggested them when we were looking for opening acts for the last tour or the one before that. But it was impossible to make it happen then. But the first song I heard was called Brested, and it's just a beautiful song, and like everything I heard was just very, very good and very, very nice. So again, for the acoustic tour, it seemed like, well, that's going to be perfect with Anneke and Arstide. That's just going to be a perfect.
We can wait to hear you singing with Arsene and Anneke if you're.
Yeah, well, there might be some surprises. but first and foremost, you should just like enjoy Anneke and Arstide for their own like history that this is. Oh, you're gonna find out when you watch it.
Yeah.